Okay, guys, good morning to all of you. Can you hear me loud and clear? All right, loud and clear. L and C. Okay, morning to you, Anthony. Morning to you, Janet. Ivy, Loyon, David, Louis, and Karine. All right. Okay. All right. So as we're going to start today's MEO, I am going to be very upfront here. You can hear from my tone, I'm a little bit not a hippie this morning. This MEO this MEO could have been cancelled because I wanted to stay with my wife. Today, my mother-in-law, she is sick and leukemia, and she has made her decision to make her final journey back home from the city back to her hometown. It'll be very painful for her, but that is her final wish. So just now we did have a bit of emotional breakdown at home, and I wanted to stay with her, but she tells me that work is very important, and I kind of agree with her because we can't do it too much. So undeniable, my mood now is something fantastic. So I know that this MEO is supposed to be chirpy, I'm supposed to make noise, but I think for today, I just can't go any higher than this tone here. So kindly understand this. Today's MEO content is quite a bit. Yeah, so there's a lot of alternate market news in between. Now I've done enough sharing to tell you how important are the alternate market news. But of course, some people will find it amazing. Some of you will find it nonsense. But end of the day, it's all right. It's an individual thing. I will not want to put it on you. So pretty simple. Today MEO is about 1 hour and 45 minutes long, if I am correct. So kindly do your best to take notice of what I want to share next. And I kindly apologize again for the lack of tonality today. That's for sure. All right, so if anybody have invited friends today to listen to me, I'm very sorry. I cannot bring myself any higher in terms of my tone. I can't. Yeah, I can't. Because most son-in-laws were scared of their mother-in-laws, but not for me. My mother-in-law took care of me, gave me her daughter at a time whereby it's not supposed to happen. All right, if you're in my Facebook this morning, if you join my Facebook, you will have seen a video, a 3-part video that was uploaded this morning. The timing can't be anywhere near impeccable. It was not done on purpose. It's just so coincidence. Yeah. So all I can say is this, I just wish her all the best, and hopefully the journey back home itself will be easy, less painful. And hopefully when she reaches home, she will feel more at peace. And probably there's time when our creator will take her back home. All right, let's start. Today is the 21st of March, 2022, Monday. All right. Now this morning, we can see very clearly that there are a few pictures that I've collected for you. Now, all these pictures are collected by myself, and I do the photo montage. Okay, you don't get it anywhere. So obviously, you can see that I put Baller, I put Joe Biden, I put Jim Cramer's face in this morning's photographs. And the caption for this morning is how JPMorgan says it's time to buy. Now, actually, this particular sentence is come with two meanings. Meaning one is that if you are bullish, if you believe in yourself, you think the market is going to go up, then whatever JPMorgan says now will be very critical for you. Now, if you are bearish, then on the flip side, it will serve as a warning, but also present an opportunity for you to take a look how the boys manipulate the market if, let's say, the market goes down. So later on itself, right, you will understand where I'm coming from. Now, today's the alternate market news. I have two sides. I purposely created the bull side and the bear side at the same time, so for you to take note. All right, okay, all right. So last Saturday, we had a very good session. About 160 people have signed up for this particular talk. About 138 people came in and watched it. And I was very detailed in my explanation, in my opinion. I shared with people how to draw the market, how to see the trend of the market, how to look at which counter itself will likely be going higher, which counter will be going lower. Now, I did quite a fair bit. So what happened is that, right, after the session is over, I asked them whether do they want to continue to have another session with me. So not too bad, I would say not too bad. I have pretty good response where people came back in and decided to add me again. I said that, right, if you actually like my sharing and you would like to be added again for the next session, which could be US stock, it could be Singapore stocks, add me again. And of course, you can see that, right, many people have chose to type and comment at me again. So of course, as long as you type at me again, you will get the front seats in a way. Now we're trying to consider to do this sharing on a physical form whereby I present it to you live in person. Because when you do that itself, right, it's much easier to get the response and also can feel you better. So we will inform you more in details as we go along. But once again, thank you for really giving me the thumbs up for this event. Yeah, thank you very much. Now, of course, disclaimer apply as usual, my friends. Disclaimer apply as usual for today's sharing. Now, of course, usually at this part, the joke of the day, normally I will be laughing away, but I said once again, today I won't. Nothing against it, but it just has to show you currently now my emotion is not very nice. So you can see that the bull will now have to really fight the escalator. Why escalator? Because the escalator is pointing downwards. Now, I know that some of the people now, some of the trainers or experts and gurus, after seeing the market recover 4 days in a row, they felt that the recovery is in and the market probably has bottomed out. Now, I have repeated myself many times. I have said that early last week, I already told you that the market will rebound. And in fact, itself, I said that, right, the market will likely be seeing a peak by the 16th to the 18th of March. Now, Mike Wilson from Morgan Stanley actually put 16th of March, but I didn't put 16. I put 16th to 18th of March. I said that very clearly. I said that give and take because Friday was a quadruple witching. And based on my understanding, if there were so many sellers last few weeks, then obviously if the writer of the put options will want the players to lose their money, then of course the stock market has to go to the high side. This is without a doubt the simplest way to make money from the market. And this is what I feel. Now we are just about another probably 1.5 months away from the earnings season, all right, in April. And we are probably about 20 days away from the earnings season. And we are probably about 1.5 months away from the FOMC next meeting. Now, we can see that the crude oil price is actually firming around 100 and today has recovered back to 105, 106 level. Now, this is not good because I already told you guys that, right, if the last 2 weeks of selling is not going to bring the price down significantly, then anytime if crude oil price go back 117 again, this will spur more buying into the market. That means that whatever they've been trying to do to lower down the market has no longer deemed feasible. And because of that as well, right, you can see generally speaking, the crude oil prices, the food prices around the whole world is increasing at a phenomenal rate. And definitely that will going to cause more pain to the entire society. So what happened was I told you guys that the Dow Jones will be trading higher even on Friday itself. Now, you must understand and you must give me fairness in my sharing. On the 18th of March, which is actually a Friday, right? More than 1,500 people have seen this sharing, okay? Not too bad, pretty decent, okay? Okay, I've been reached and about 900 watch it, okay? Now, I mentioned very clearly that the Dow Jones at the time was 34,286, right? But I told you that the Dow Jones will likely be going up to this particular price, 34,568, because that is the number that's available on my system. Now think about this, between them itself is about 300 points, right? 100 points. And yet I can tell you what to do early in the morning. Think about this, 300 points. How much can you make from the market if you actually believe in what I just said? And I told you my system itself is so powerful that usually by the third day, we will get to see our target reach. So this was actually Wednesday. This was Thursday. So obviously itself, this should be Friday, which is last Friday. So that was what I shared. And I also tell you guys that, right, the boys have been buying. Look at my KSI, the color has turned green. And there's a KSI jump, in fact, itself on this Wednesday. So with all this information, it's pretty clear that it really takes no effort or little, no brainer to know that I'm expecting the Dow Jones to go higher. So think about this. If the Dow Jones is to go higher, what would you think will happen to the regional stock market? So you can see that this is where we call for buy, all right? And then this is how the Dow exploded all the way up itself. Incredible, right? And the thing is this, I even texted my own student and tell them this, look, if the Dow Jones is going to go to 34,568, and now the Dow Jones is at 34,405 updated further, what do you think will happen to the rest of the whole world? So obviously it's all right. It's no brainer that everybody knows that the Dow will only generally go higher. And of course, again, I say many people who followed make money. But of course, there's a significant group of people who didn't follow. And in fact, they shorted the market. And unfortunately, they lost money. So it comes to the point that I realized that no matter how hard working I am doing for MAO is all right, there will always be people listening to it and actually applying whatever they've heard. There will also be people who will basically go against it or not knowing what has happened and then lost money. But again, this is the circle of life. There will be people doing A, there will always be people doing B. So rather than focus on the people who do B, I will just focus on the people who will do A. And I hope that you guys have made money from the market. So can I ask, how many of you have made money from the market on Friday? If you have made money on Friday because of my particular call, right, can you make profits? All right, if you actually have made money from the market, kindly make profits. All right, so that I can know generally how many people are A and how many people are B here itself, while I get a sip of a coffee. All right, let me see how many of you have made money from the market. All right, if you make money from the market, please key the word make profits so that I can see that the crowd for today. Okay. All right, once again, like I say, I'm here to help you guys to make money. And this morning, MAO is going to help you again. This morning, I already updated my students regarding my potential direction for today. And today, I'm a seller. I repeat, today, I'm a seller, which means that today, I suspect the US market will be down. I suspect the Chinese market will be down. I suspect the crude oil prices will be going up. And I suspect that the gold price might have a bit of sideways upwards movement. Yeah, sideways but upwards movement. Okay, so you can see that. Congratulations to you, Alison. Congratulations to you, Judy. Louis. All right, Fico, you didn't enter because you were expecting the market to come off, right? I assume that. But didn't you tell yourself that Friday will be big movement? Big movement, not necessarily must be down or can be up. And that's the reason why we were bullish on Friday. So undeniable, right? Undeniable. So knowing that itself, we will know that if let's say the Dow Jones is going to go up, undeniable, the Hang Seng is going to go up. Now at the time itself, when we're doing this MAO, the Hang Seng was trading at 21,000. And I make sure to tell you that, right, if the Hang Seng is to go up, right, there is a high chance that you may go to 21,697 because that is the MA30. Now you must understand from this point to this point here is almost 700 points. My God, 700 points. And in the morning MAO at 11 o'clock, I was able to tell you what to do. And of course, judging from the momentum of the market, you can see that the Hang Seng really, really flourished to where we sit, and that was 21,697. Yes, the market did go higher, but that's okay because to us as well, we just need to follow our market and trade accordingly. All right. So again, this is evident because everything I show you guys is what I show you live on Facebook, and then after that we do a recap every day. So seriously, this is really very clear that why my students are doing well or better than most people, because they really know that the system really works, and as long as they follow, they should be fine. All right, Judy says she'll shut the Dow Jones down. Okay. All right, Judy, I say trade according to rules and do risk management. You should be fine. Yeah. Okay, so basically I'm done with my recap a little bit. Yeah. All right, so just a little bit of 1 minute for advertisement itself. Now, on the 26th of March, which is coming Saturday, all right, if you want to join my class, it will cost you only $388 from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, this is live in-person coaching. That means that you see me physically in person. I'll teach you how to use the basic system, okay, the TWB basic system. All right, then of course, if you think that you're going to go for the premier level, you want to go for something more advanced, then of course, my next class itself, the 15 intake, will be on the 2nd and 3rd of April, and that'll be 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And also, you'll be live in-person coaching, okay? All right, so if I get more detail, contact Richard. He will be able to assist you via Facebook, yeah? Now, of course, I left only 6 seats for basics and 3 seats for my premier, okay? All right. Now, this week, from today, tonight, right? Tonight, 10 p.m. Singapore time, Jerome Powell will be speaking again. I'm not too sure what he'll be speaking. I didn't have time to look at it, but I'm pretty sure he will come in to validate what he has to tell the whole world about his view of the market interest rates. I have to be wrong on this, but I think I should be correct. So he'll be speaking for 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. Okay, different timing. One is at one will be at this 10 p.m. One is at 8 p.m. So the question is, will the market react on this? Well, it might be. Sorry, it's Monday and Wednesday. My bad. Yeah, Monday and Wednesday. So 2 different days. All right. And new home sales is expecting to be slightly higher, but crude inventories, we'll look at it how it goes. And on Thursday, we will have the core durable goods, and of course, the initial jobless claim will be another significant level to watch out before the US FOMC meets on this May. And of course, pending home sales, the numbers have went up compared to the last time it went down. So that's they are looking at a higher number. Let's see how it goes. Okay. Now the Dow Jones was pretty incredible because I told you I told you before on Friday. If the market on Friday for quadruple witching, if it choose to open and go down, then after lunch, usually it will rebound, right? So you can see that actually it did. The market was downwards. It was a downwards movement. That's why after lunch itself, look at the way the market shoot up. This already, I tell you, will happen, right? I told you before that what will happen if the first 2-3 hours of the morning on quadruple witching, if the market is down, then usually it will be up towards the second half of the day. So vice versa, if it's up first, then it will be down later part. Now, I remember I did tell you this, my friends. So if you remember that I actually tell you what to do for this quadruple witching, right? Put REM, okay, REM, remember quadruple witching, okay, QW, all right? So if you remember that I told you what to do for this quadruple witching, and I was very specific with it. I even remember to tell you on Thursday and Friday, 2 days in a row. And if you have basically remember, you will know what to do. So if you remember that I help you and tell you what to do for quadruple witching, please kindly text REM QW. Now, by doing that itself, right, it's not just only for you to it's not only just for me to do marketing. It especially means for you to remember that next time if we have quadruple witching again, you will know what to do. So 1 year itself got 4 quadruple witching. So we have just passed the first. That means we have 2 more to go. Yeah, 3 more to go. Okay. So remember what to do. All right. Because maybe one day itself I might be busy or I'm not around to assist you. At least you know how to behave on quadruple witching. This is actually very, very important, right? Thank you, Louis, Yo, Rayang, Fred, Han Yu, Karine, Allison, Granville, Anthony, Susan, Louis, all right, for remembering itself, right? Appreciate that. Quizirin, all right, Quizirin, okay. All right, hold on, pronounce it correctly. All right, so the stock market on Friday really rallied 270 points as the stock passed their best week for 2020. All right, so why did the market goes up? So basically, it's all right. The market actually trade higher on basically news, as they say, they digested news on the Federal Reserve, and they feel that right, the COVID cases in this Europe is steaming to an emerging variant, and of course, the ongoing war in between Russia and Ukraine seeming down. So all these things give the reason why people may think that we should have the better time. And of course, on the other a bit of nervous note, Joe Biden spoke to President Xi Jinping on Friday to discuss the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So of course, Xi told Biden that United States and China each had their own obligation to promote peace. All right, Russia had made requests for military or economic aid from China, and all calls seem to be a critical test of whether Biden can convince Beijing to stay on the sidelines of the conflict. So you can see that, right, Xi Jinping is staying very neutral. He's not going to say anything else. And you can see that Biden really wants Xi Jinping to actually put a stand and a position with the current situation. So of course, later on, I will show you some details about how I feel about this particular area, and we see whether can we find some little insight of it, right? Now, of course, Russia, I told you, right, has made $117 million bond payment in dollars, okay? In dollars, yeah? Take note in dollars, all right, to somebody. And of course, until now itself, right, they did not produce the name of it. So I cannot be half surprised if you tell me the people that are paying is China, okay? So because of that, the market now is feeling more bullish than not, because they feel that now everything has toned off from COVID to war to the situation now. It seems like a good time to buy into the market. And that's why the bullishness and the sentiment is pretty high at the moment right now. Now, of course, I say once again, how would you have traded on Friday was pretty clear. The market opens here, right? And it's above MLP, it's above pivot 2. So undeniable, and it's above MA30. So when the MA30 is below you, usually the market will be more bullish than not. So what happened was the market purposely came down to hit pivot 2 and rebounded at pivot 2. So without a doubt, once the market crossed above pivot 2, do a CCRY, it will be buy immediately. That is something that you don't need to ask me. And of course, for students of mine, they can see very clearly why the market stops here. Initially, there's a star, and that's why the market came off. But after that itself, right, when the market stabilized at this pivot 2 and also at MLP, we all know that this is telling you the telltale sign that the market might be bottoming out soon. And because of that, you can see very clearly the market ding dong around that level. And once the KSI kick in, when boys kick in to buy, that presented the most important reason for buying. And of course, when the market goes above OP, that was even stronger buy. All right, even a stronger buy. So that's the reason why our students was able to see this movement before it actually rallied. Now for gold, you can take a look now. Gold yesterday on Friday closed at 1920. And what's the reason? Because the opening price is actually below P2. Now below OP, below P2, and KSI red in color. Come on, guys. There's only one thing to do, right? CCYR, just sell. That means that if you see the market trading opening price below P2 and below OP, most likely it will be a CCYR to sell. So if you look at it now, on hindsight, you can see that once the market basically went below the OP of the day, all right, it's a sell. Now there was a very huge area here where the market was trying to sell but couldn't go down much, right? Well, like I told you before, in 45 minutes, you don't see anything happening on your trade doing well, something is wrong. And of course, the market is trying to hold itself at MLP. Now, it did go back up, but once it hit the MA30, it couldn't stay up. And when the green dots appear on the screen, we know that something big is going to happen. And of course, we don't think the market will be going up. We think they'll be coming down instead. And truth be told, the market came down. So with all this understanding, you will know that, right, as long as you know what to do with the TWB system, you could actually make money from the market. All right, guys. Okay, thank you very much for understanding here. Okay, go. Now, for those who just joined us moments ago, I know that somebody is texting me on the side right now. Like I say, once again, there's something not that very nice happening in my family, my mother-in-law's side. So today, I really don't have the mood to be hippie and chirpy for this morning. MAO. I will still present my MAO as it's supposed to be, but less emotion. So kindly understand this for today. Some people ask me, will there be MAO tomorrow? I'll be honest with you, I'm not very sure. So today, I would like you to really take the best of everything from me and try to utilize it and trade according to rules, okay? All right, Ken? Okay, yeah? So let's do it. So now, first of all, it's all right. Let's look at some news that is not really covered by the mainstream media a little bit first. Now, every day you do see CNBC, Bloomberg covering what's happening in Ukraine, but they don't really cover what's happening in Russia. So I decided to do something here. Now, this is from Taiwan Talk Show. So there's a source of it. Now you can see that, right? These are all the ladies, okay? All the ladies are all preparing to basically go to grab hold of sugar. Sugar, yes, sugar. So apparently it's all right. Commodity prices in Russia has shoot up, obviously, because not many products are going in. So people had to really fight for commodity, actually basic necessity. And of course, you can look at the shelf itself, totally emptied out. All right, even though it's not COVID, but people are emptying out all the shelves available because basically people are very worried. So that is what's happening in Russia. And of course, if you do any form of protest in Russia, this particular guy, he just take a piece of white paper, literally white paper, nothing else was mentioned. He just stayed there to so-called protest. Well, basically the police will ask you for your pass, your IC, your pass. And of course, this guy is the Russian guy. He gave his pass with the police check. So initially that we thought that they'll be over, but no, the police take him away. So you can see that, right? The situation now itself in Russia is not the best. So of course, all this information, you hardly see them, on mainstream media because most likely it's not allowed. Now, just now I've trying to enter this website by, I think it's called Real Time. And I realized that Google actually scan it first and say that, okay, this is the browser will go through some scanning first before they release. And after a while later, then it went through. So wow, this is really incredible. So everything we're reading right now is being scanned. So that's why end of the day is whatever you do, be careful, yeah, in these recent times. Now, Biden warns Xi Jinping of global backlash if China helps Russia attack on Ukraine. So apparently Joe Biden spoke to Xi Jinping for almost 2 hours and keep on reminding him that, right, we must not support Russia. So of course, I think Xi Jinping is a very smart guy. He just said, okay. Everybody got their own way of looking at this. I think just go round and round and round and round. At the end of the day, it's out that they only agree to work peace for Ukraine, but they deeply disagree on who is responsible for the Russian invasion. That's very clear. So that means at the end of the day, both party leaders had only say what they want to say, but nothing came out positive from that. And it's a blatant waste of time, yeah? But during the call, right, Biden described the implication and the consequences if China provides material support to Russia. Okay? Now, there's a news going on that I saw that Ukraine been pretty upset with China because Ukraine says, stop sending me food. Stop sending me the basic necessities. Send me the weapons. So apparently now, Ukraine people, or at least what we are seeing right now, are demanding for weapons, which China is not giving. China said that, right, giving you guys itself, right, going to cause more casualties. So you see that there's something actually not very right in the whole thing here. Doesn't make some sense here. And of course, right, the president lay out a lot of details to the Union for response, but they actually wants China to basically give in. So basically, in short, right, China is being warned, but do you think that will help? I don't think so. Now, recently, one little joke is that, right, the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, he actually is known as MBS. Now, MBS was called by Joe Biden, but apparently Joe Biden refused to take his call. Now, why is that so? Of course, there's a reason behind it. The main reason is because that now Saudi Arabia seemingly don't mind paying for crude oil with renminbi. Wow. Do you know that basically if this actually is allowed, a lot of things will happen, and that also gave the Russian the best way to basically sell whatever they have into crude oil to via the renminbi because of the sanction by SWIFT side, remember, right? So what will happen if Saudi Arabia sells oil in Chinese yuan instead of US dollar? All right, let's take a look. Now, first of all, okay, all right, China is attempting to buy oil in yuan rather than dollar. Now, of course, this is something this is going to piss Biden off because US, one of the reasons why US is holding the stronghold is because of the petrodollar. All right, and we see everything must be transacted through the dollar. Now, if China is able to transact oil via yuan, that means that, right, US will lose its foothold in this particular area. And now the best part of the whole thing is the willing seller is actually Saudi Arabia, the second biggest producer of crude oil. So now the thing is this, okay? What if this happened? Well, do you know 80% of the global oil transaction is denominated in dollar, okay? So if this happened, right, what will cost? Now, first of all, if the yuan displays the dollar to a sufficient degree in annual 14 trillion global oil trade, okay? Now, at the moment now, right, okay, 2.84% of world reserve are held in yuan as compared to 55% with the dollar. So now the thing is this, if the oil producer start to receive yuan, okay, they can spend it on Chinese debt and import, furthering strengthening the China economy. And of course, if more and more people do that themselves, right, what will happen to the dollar? That means that more and more people will exit from the dollar and buy into the yuan. And of course, China will only get bigger and stronger. And that's what Xi Jinping doesn't want to happen. All right, so because of all this itself, right, undeniable, all right, this is a problem because you know that US ability to issue dollar debt is because because of the stronghold in the US petrodollar. So now, and they earn the dollars for export. So imagine now if this is changed to yuan or become yuan, then obviously itself the export will decline, the economy will shrink significantly. And in this situation itself, right, if the dollar weakens, this will create a very vicious cycle. Capital flight away from the dollar, that's definitely, and towards the yuan that will debilitate the entire dollar further. Now, do note again, there were two countries in the history have tried to move away from the petrodollar. One country is called Iraq. The other country itself, right, as you know, is where Gaddafi came in, all right? So basically for these two countries, okay, the leaders, Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi, they all met their demise during this period of time. So the question is this, I just trying to tell Xi Jinping to be very careful not to do silly stuff like this, because if that is done, then this is going to seriously dampen the entire US market, because US survive on export for their crude oil. And they basically is one of the biggest importers. So if everybody is going to move away from the dollar, this is going to be really crazy. So that's why now you notice that, right, probably understand and explain why Russia is not moving into Ukraine. This is something interesting if you actually look from another perspective. But of course, this is not the autonomous market news now. I will not go into that detail, but you can think about it for yourself, yeah? So now the thing is this, people are looking at whether will this really happen. The yuan will be used for payment for crude oil. Now this going to happen. This is going to be very, very scary, yeah? And of course, stock market, the financial market, the bonds market was all suffer if this really, really manifests. But of course, we have heard this several times. It didn't happen, but that was because there's no war to start with. Now there's a war ongoing now, and everybody can see which side are you in. This become a very interesting thing. And of course, in response of that itself, right, we can see that the American came in to basically itself, right, take away the license of PC Group. All right, that is some form of retaliation. Now, PC Group is actually one of the top internet provider and in China, and by doing that itself, right, basically, you know, it's trying to show that the power here itself. So it seems that right now the world war is not on just physical war, it's actually on financial war. Okay, so of course, Japan came in and said that the Saudi Arabian oil for yuan bid will not threaten the dollar. Now, recently, Japan has been taking sides, and it's very clear that Japan is taking the side of Americans, or Ukraine, to put it this way. As you can see that now, right, they are coming in to tell you they don't think so. They tell you that they push India to denounce Russia. Well, apparently it's all right. the India side is not going to respond. Same thing. So you notice that actually India, Russia, China, three of them are actually pretty in line with all these things. So the one that's making a lot of noise itself is the Western side, especially we're talking about the US side. All right, something very interesting. So any important market news for you? Definitely we have. Let's take a look. Now, China continue to have lockdown. Now, the question is this: why Chinese numbers are now so easy to collect? Last time to get some numbers of the Chinese market is so difficult. Now, recently it's so easy, and I can tell you exactly, roughly how many. Now, of course, I don't think the numbers is only 1,000. I believe it's more than that. But the question is, why is it so easy to get this material? So yesterday, I have a little chit chat with about 20 students. All right, Eric, okay, Eric Khan, one of the pilot inside there himself. He says that he has a feel that maybe this is the way that the Chinese want to stuff the whole entire world supply chain. Because if Chinese government say, oh, it's COVID, we cannot sell you things itself, right? We can't do that. Then if they start to close down their factories and only give it enough for their own people, so guess what will happen to the things that we demand? I cannot imagine this. Maybe next time yourself, you want to take something that is from China, you may have to pay the high price for that. So that is the reason why, in my opinion itself, right, China seemingly this round is going to create another big problem for the supply chain. The supply chain is already so bad. Imagine China now doesn't come in to support. Oh my goodness, I don't know where the world will be buying from their own products. Yeah. So like that it shows that, right, by doing nothing, you will actually decide the eventuality of the war. Can you realize that? Okay, so this is something to ponder over. Now for Singapore, closer to our home itself, you can see that, right? Our inflation numbers is at 4%, which I totally disagree. Come on, 4%? Are you serious? Look at the eggs, look at the bread, look at the rice. Come on, 5%? 4%, sorry, seriously? Oh gosh. Anyway, all right, from Channel News Asia, they already said very clearly that inevitably many logistic companies are reaching out to their clients and appealing for all to a temporary share of the fuel increase to tie over the difficult period. Likewise, food distributor and wholesaler with razor-thin margins have no choice but to pass on the price hike. So which means that us, the consumer, will have to pay more because they're being passed on. So you see that this is how it's working, and undeniable, right? You can see that some people are saying that the current increase is no longer single digit, but it's going at 10, 20 to even 80%. Okay, that's the price right now. So is that something that we can feel it? Of course, it's a global thing. Everyone in the whole world can feel it. It's just that we are a little bit more well off a bit. All right. So again, guys, you are living under a rock. You must know that things are changing. Yeah. So what happened is that St. Louis Federal Baller says that the central bank should raise rates above 3% this year. Now, this guy, James Baller, is the one and only bear, or at least the one and only state his position about what he wants to have for this coming this interest rate hike. So the thing is that he calls for 50 basis points because he believes that the bench rate will go above 3% by the end of the year itself. Now, of course, this is not him, but it's very clear that he's the one and only one, right? He's the one and only FOMC member to vote against the move because he thinks that, right, 0.5 is make more sense. So what happened to the market? The market recovered, and the market didn't care what has happened, and they allow it to happen until later. All right. So my point is this: I strongly think that Baller is actually correct, right? Of course, maybe when we are looking at this itself right here to lower down the spices, but overall, I think he's correct. So, of course, some officials are very divided about how much rates to go. Some of them are looking at 1.75 to 2%, but some people are looking at least 3%. So again, this is a bit of both side view. So now the thing is this, end of the day, is that some people feel that, okay, the US economy is finally recovering, and then there's no reason for the stock market to go down. So it's pretty good, right? But the thing is this, I don't buy this at all, because inflation, if it's not curbed, it will become a scary, scary problem. Yeah. All right, so for now, there'll be alternate market news. And at this moment now, I will have two sides, a bull camp and the bear camp, okay, for today's alternate market news. So let's go for the bull first, shall we? Let's go for the bull first, yeah? Now, this is what the forecast by most of the strategists early this year. You can see that, right? Goldman Sachs expecting 5,001, BNP Paribas 5,001, JPMorgan 5050. So basically, the top few are all looking at least 5,000, yeah? Okay. So now, JPMorgan in November continue to confirm that, right, it's one of the biggest bull and they are looking at the price to go higher. But now what happened is that, right, now what happened, JPMorgan says that no problem, it's still good, we're still looking at higher. We may not see 5,001, but we may see at least 5,000. So at least JPMorgan have been staying pretty firm on their prediction. But of course, if you look at Goldman Sachs, a little bit washy now. Now, Goldman Sachs initially looking at 5,100, but now they're looking at 4,900. Okay, so that means there is a pullback in the market. Again, there's some pullback in the market. So there's something to take note of. But overall itself, right? Oops, sorry, hold on here. Hold on here. Sorry, there's some error here. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, one of the worst start has happened for 95 years now. JPMorgan says it's time to buy. JPMorgan says it's time to buy. Okay, now why? Because they feel that, right, the current equity market has significantly discounted the negative news. Right, the sentiment is extremely poor, and it's a good time to buy because usually you buy when it's sentiment is very poor. Now all the risks are front loaded already, and he felt that, right, the market is time to spring back into action. He believed that, right, by this month or quarter end rebalance, there will be buying of equity. So this is where he's saying they are coming from, and he feel that, right, even though the energy price is going up, but they favor the upside on this particular sector. So usually, right, major averages after a war or something big itself, right, yes, indeed, will have high inflation. And of course, you have aggressive pivot from the Federal Reserve. So the financial crisis, right, since 2008 until now, okay, sorry, since 1968 and now, you can see that usually the market, after the first part of it, after war, the prices go down significantly. And then after that, right, the market usually will recover. So you can see that out of the last 10 times, only one time it didn't do well was because of the GFC. So that means statistically itself, right, whenever there's a bad news in the market, right, it should be on the long side to actually make back the money. And I can't deny, if you have done that itself, right, you have made the money. But the question is, will we be making money thoroughly throughout? I don't think so. That's the reason why I'm not sharing this. All right, now Goldman Sachs gave 5 reasons why the market mysteriously come back this week. So first of all, people have learned to live with COVID, that's for sure. The aggressive plan will lower inflation. So with all this aggressiveness in the interest rate, they expect the Federal Reserve will be able to bring down inflation. And of course, with the crude oil price peaking from $134 down to today $100, so right, it seems to be peaking, which I disagree. But the US growth now is moving well. You can see the housing start is better than expected, and airline shares are going up again. So all again tells you that, hey, the market is doing well. And of course, the geopolitical risks have faded. That means that the problem of the current situation within the leaders seemingly is much better. So because of all this is all right, if you are bullish as a trader, then you should be looking at these few reasons to buy. But contrary to it, it's all right, if you are a bearish trader, you're looking for a downside, right, then of course, these are the good reasons for you to look out for selling pressure, yeah? Now, this is a taking from someone else to tell you something interesting. Take a look on here. Now, this is the 3-day AD breadth, okay, advance and decline. Now, of course, the advance and decline, you can see have hit 90 percentile. Okay, this is where it gets very interesting. Now, it seems that every time it hit 90 percentile, the market after that will recover. Not 100%, but majority of the time, the market will recover. So one of the strongest 3-day move in history, extremely rare, never happens during the 2000 to 2007 bear. Mark the start of the historical rallies, okay? So it's a classic bull market behavior. So in short, people who are very bullish, they'll take this as a very big guide to see that every time when the thing goes up above the 90 zone, usually that's the bottom of the market. So that's why traders are looking at this could be the bottom of the market. Okay, so that is the reason why you get to see this. So again, on the fundamental news, seems that there is a much chance of the market trading higher. Okay, that's the reason why I purposely share this with you. All right, now Jim Cramer explained that why veteran technical analysis Larry Williams sees a bull market for these 3 stocks. So the 3 stocks are it's Alphabet, Amazon, and Coca-Cola. You can see the names there. Alphabet is Google, by the way. All right, so Alphabet, Amazon, and Coca-Cola. So he says that certain view. Now, not everyone I got to extract from the article, so it's not the which link to look up for. So apparently, right, he believed that from the seasonal pattern of Larry Williams, he believed that, right, the market will be going up a little bit, then it comes down, and after that, it will rally again. So it seems that not to worry if you're doing Amazon, all right, seemingly that's what Larry Williams said. Okay, I will not want to say anything else. All right, now Coca-Cola. Now Coca-Cola is actually a big follower of the sugar price. The one in red is the the seasonal pattern, and of course it's actually moving the sugar price. So Coca-Cola is a kind of stock that you like to hedge fund to own it at point business cycle because it will outperform the major averages itself. So you believe that this will lead to a higher price for this Microsoft. And of course, you can see that this is Coca-Cola price. You can see that the sugar price goes up. So is the Coca-Cola price. Okay, you can see very, very clearly. Now, of course, once again, for people like doing this, when you're looking at this sort of seasonal pattern, please make sure that as long as the market is trending and making sense, fine. But if the market is not doing the same thing, then it could spell trouble, yeah? So of course, if you want to know more in details and more exactly, so you can go to this particular, go to CNBC, look out for Cramer explain why veteran technical analysis sees a bull market in these 3 stocks. So, okay, so watch out, take a look and see what you can offer from down there. Now, of course, if we do bear bull, we must do bear, right? So let me just do a bear now. Okay, very nice bear, right? Take a look. Now, this is the first time I do alternate market news with two sets here. So you can actually choose to be a bull or choose to be a bear. Now, one thing is that the recent buff have probably bring like stock like Cathy Wood stock. It was down below 60. I told you it would go down. It was about $55, but he rebounded in a single day to $56, almost $10. 2 reasons for that, because first of all, NASDAQ recovered. That's the first thing. Number 2 is that, right, apparently this Cathy Wood managed to bring in another $300 million of funding into her exchange, with her ETF. So basically, I can only tell you this, more money to chase after the so-called bad money. If the market basically come down, right, then of course, there will be a problem here itself. So you can see that now, right, in terms of volatility movement, right, we are almost identical to what happened in the 2020 period. So of course, during that period of time, what you see is that the market actually shoot up from there. But now we are at almost the same level itself, right? The question is, where is it going to go? Now, my personal view is that this is actually a BNB on the day chart. We should know what to do. So guys, in my opinion itself, right, this is not the end yet. I believe that there will be another wave of selling once things start to develop. So of course, you can see that the KWEB, the Chinese tech index. You can see that, right, the volatility in the single few days was ridiculous. It's the highest ever compared to the last, how many years? Last, what, 7 years, 8 years? Why is that so? Because they really need to save the market. If not, the market will go into a big problem. And that's why now you see that the volatility index is so high, which leads to the next question is, would that create a problem? Say no. In fact, this will help him a lot And of course, this tells you that, right, if the market stays down later on, this index will likely collapse. This is why I'm feeling the heat right now about this current market, yeah? So of course, I did tell you about the Friday quadruple witching. I can't go in detail, but I just tell you that, right, if let's say everybody wants to make money from the option itself, right, usually the market will go the other side. So you can see that this is a large OPX data versus the movement, and you can see that, right, where could be the next resistance for the S&P 500. Because I told you before, if the put option is so much and abundant during the last 3 weeks, so of course on the last week itself, right, what would the boys do? They will definitely burn away all the options by pushing a price all the way up itself to create the losses. So that's why I've been telling you this. As long as you're in the market, just consider doing this, okay? On the way down, you always look for sell. On the way up, look for buy. So for this market, right, it's on the way up. So that's why you can see it happens. So with the put options itself, right, when everybody buy the put option because actually the price goes down, so obviously the seller has made a lot of money from the premium, and as long as he push the price up, by the end of the day, all the put option trader will all be losing money. And as again, simple put itself, right, the money goes to whoever who is understanding this. Now, of course, you can see one thing is that the crazy part is that the US dollar. Now, we do know there'll be interest rate hikes, right? We celebrated on that. But very interesting is that the US dollar is not performing. Look at 16, 17, 18 of the March. It is not performing at all. So why is it not performing? Despite the rate hikes, because they know people are starting to take notice that, right, more and more people are also coming in to spend. And also at the same time itself, right, that means that the potential bond price of the market is not strong enough. So that's the reason why you can see that the dollar is not in favor. And of course, if let's say the US and China and Saudi really make a pact of using a yuan, that will pressure the dollar even more. Okay, that will pressure the dollar even more. So that is the reason why I feel that, right, if traders are watching this itself, you want to try to buy some by yourself, okay, that some dollar after you just hold back for a while. Maybe the dollar may really depreciate a little bit more, yeah. Now you can see this is the world GDP economic forecast. That is the red one, and the world economy weighted inflation. Now that's the one in blue, and you can see very clearly since last 2 years, their numbers have been pretty in line. But only last year itself, September, things got very different. You can see that, right, the world economy with the inflation goes up, but the so-called the economic forecast is going down. So which means that, right, the market is expecting a lower number in time to come, while there's people who are saying it itself, right, says that it could go higher. So the thing is, I can see the inflation now is shooting up at a very alarming rate. And while this is happening itself, right, the forecast is actually dipping down. So take note of this to say this is really not good, because that means that this actually means that inflation is coming in, yeah. And of course, especially now with the Federal Reserve cranking out the hawkishness, now you can see that, right, the 2020 Fed fund rates are looking at 2% minimally, but very incredibly at the same time, right, 2023, 2024, right, they're expecting a rate cut. So that means that they're trying to say that, right, they already expect that the first few months there will be rate of the continuation of the inflation going higher, but probably about later as well, right, they expect the Federal Reserve to not to take it and have to cut the inflation, cut the interest rate to make sure to stimulate the economy. Now, if this actually really happened, right, I'm quite sure the crude oil price and the crude oil price and the gold prices to shoot up, commodity prices shoot up, because once the dollar weaken, right, this is going to be a very serious trouble. Okay, if it's going to happen, this will serve a very big serious trouble here. And of course, now guys, if you're going to marry your girlfriends, okay, do take note, yeah, because of what's happening right now, right? The price of diamonds are shooting up very fast. So apparently now, right, diamonds are now Russian billionaire best friend, because know why? There's one going saying that the Russians are buying a lot of Bitcoin and a lot of this diamonds so that they can keep it to move with them, because if not, they put in dollar or put in the currency, it's very difficult to move around, and of course things can go pretty ugly. So you can see now that the price of diamonds are shooting up to all the way high to 2015 time, yeah. This is actually pretty scary, yeah. So just to show to you, right, in terms of online, you can see that 1 carat of the diamond is for 11,000, 3 carat is for 121,000, and of course the 5.26 carat, right, is of diamonds at $358,000 Singapore dollars, yeah. All this. All right, so you can take a look and feel how it's going up. I think the last time when I saw this was 10,200. Now it went up by 10% already. Okay, so basically for today, the alternative market news clearly give you the bull cam and the bear cam. And my job today is tell you that, right, be careful and watch out for the market because you really don't want to be caught by the wrong side of the market, yeah? All right, so hope you like this sharing session on this area here. Okay, let us now look at the chart, shall we? The bull goes moo, the bear goes grr, and the flamingo is different this time. Give me a minute, yeah? Okay, so first of all, let's look at China first. Now, China market today, you must take note of a few very important things. Now, today, China market is an omega signal, omega. Yes, the opening price of China market today is 13,909. The opening price and the day high is the same. The day high is also 13,909. That's why you can see it's a flat opening in the market and then it's a flat top opening. So this is actually very clear that today Hong Kong will be down, China market will be down. Very clear, you no-brainer, you will know that. So first of all, it's below the MA30. So that already tells you that the market has more sell than buy reason. Okay, so that is the first thing that you must take note of that. The second thing is this, okay, I told you that 13,866 is a very critical resistance support area. So last time when the market broke the resistance and the support, sorry, it went down all the way, right? Then after that, you notice it stopped here, then it stopped here, and today omega. So now what's happening here is pretty simple. The MLP of this particular white candle is 13,243. So if the market is continued to fall, this will test this point here. The China A50 index is going to test this point here at 13,243. If the market tested this area and holds it, the market may rebound. But if the market fails, then I'm so sorry, it will take away the entire white candle. So guys, 13,243 is the whole very important technical point to watch out for China A50. All right, there should be some technical support over there. If the market loses it, then the selling will definitely kick in, yeah? Okay. Okay, now everybody take note of this. Now, all my students especially take note of this. Okay, this is going to be very important for you. You must listen, yeah? Okay, so obviously you can see very clearly that, all right, very clearly that these are all the BNBs that's available on the screen. All right, I purposely choose 5. All right, to have the shaded area, you must be a BNB, correct? Okay, so now I try to remove this away to show you something very interesting. Okay, never mind. I'll leave it there first. You notice that this is the highest point, right? And this is a BNB. Agreeable? Then, of course, this is the next highest point, right? This is also a BNB. Agreeable? And this guy high is a BNB. Okay? Okay, this guy high is right. This is not the highest point, so then we don't take. So the question is this: whenever the highest point came down recently, you notice that it's all BNB. So the BNB classification itself, students of mine, you will know how do you get a BNB. So this morning, when the market opens and open lower and trade up, and then now come down, right? It basically has already made halfway mark of a BNB. Do you understand my point? So which means that if today, if the Dow Jones goes down and really come down to this point here, which is 33,870, write it down, 33,870. If the Dow Jones today really come down to 33,870, then traders be very careful. This could mean a new BNB is formed. And if the BNB is formed based on, right, B1, B2, and B3, you can see that the magnitude of the sell-off in the market. So that is where I'm pretty concerned that if today, if the Dow Jones lose 33,870, this particular support level, right, what will happen to the US market coming forward, yeah, moving forward, yeah? So this is something that I want you to take note of, 33,870, okay? Very important level. Now, of course, if the market recovers, then it will go up to test 34,988 because that is actually the main resistance for today. Breaking above 34,988, that will help. That will help to go higher, but I doubt it will happen. Now, the thing is this, guys, you can see that the first time when the BNB happened here, the market trigger and hit the target within 3 days. Can you see that? 1, 2, 3. On the second time when the BNB got triggered, the market also take 3 days to hit the BNB. The third time itself, when it happened, right, within 2 days, the market hit the BNB extension minus 1 times 1. But very interestingly, on the fourth time, you notice that the fourth time itself, right, the market did not actually hit the BNB at the bottom and recover. That gave me the suspect to know that, right, something is wrong. So because of that, I know that the market most likely will be pumping up towards the BNB 1 times 1, which really happened on Friday. See? So with this BNB little tool, right, you can actually roughly know when could be the potential turning point if the 1 times 1 or the minus 1 times 1 doesn't fulfill. Pretty cool, right? If you think that this is a pretty cool understanding of the BNB, right? Put BNB rocks for me. If you're a student of mine, only my student of mine, if you think that this BNB really rocks, please keyword BNB rocks right now, okay? All right, so as you guys have already seen that, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Louis. Thank you, Ray Yang, Kerry Hua, Cheng Hui, Han Yu, Dennis, Eugenio, Yo, Fred, Anthony, Susan, Allison, David, Louis, Brian. Thank you guys for all the strong support, yeah? So that's the reason why today itself be extremely careful. This thing may go into a very interesting momentum movement if I say whatever I say comes to reality, yeah. So of course, look at the NASDAQ now. You can see a clearer picture. I'm gonna just keep changing this away first, not to confuse you guys. Okay, so you can see today NASDAQ we have a bit of different, yeah. NASDAQ. Okay, let me just show you Dow first. Sorry, Dow Jones itself. Do note that everybody. Sorry, I missed this out. Dow Jones pivot 2 itself is 34,528. Yeah. Now, do note today opening price of the pivot is inside the 2 pivots, yeah? And the MLP is very nearby, and that is at 34,549. So which means that, right, if the market breaks MLP, we may have a problem. And if the market breaks below 34,528, right, then every CCYR will be a sell. And of course, how low can the market go? I don't know how low can it be, but I don't think it'll come down to here, 33,743, but it might be pulled in by that as well. Because the thing is this, last week we have the FOMC meeting and it's gonna be 7 interest rates and 1 have been done. Now the crude oil price is going up again, right? There's no news about Ukraine-Russia thing, but the crude oil price is going up on its own. Food prices around the whole world is increasing. The supply chain issue is being held back because China now got COVID. So if you think about this, the biggest exporter is not sending out things. The biggest importer itself, right, is going to suffer. So with all these things ongoing right now, where with no more positive news and no more quadruple wishing to manipulate the market, that means the market will go back to reality. And tonight, Jerome Powell is speaking. I don't think he will be speaking anything positive because the last minute he didn't. The last time he saw it, the market turned bullish because he was He just made because the market just buy because of the options. It was not his speech that created the market go higher. So think about this today and this coming week itself. If there's no more positive news coming in, right? Any negative news, right, going to punch the market down lower. All right. So that's the reason why I felt that we must be very careful moving for this week. Yeah. Okay. So now look at this. This is a NASDAQ once again. You can see the same thing repeating on a very regular basis. Everybody take a look. Do you notice that the historical high on the NASDAQ was a BNB? You notice that when the market sold, it was a BNB. You notice that, right? Whenever the market is basically, coming down and stuff, right? The BNB will always be around. So would that be happening for today? I don't know yet, but we have the making of it. So now with this understanding here, the MLP for the NASDAQ itself is 14,241, but the NASDAQ now is already testing pivot 2. So below pivot 2, below OP, CCYR is a sell already. Below OP, below pivot 2, CCYR is a sell. So that's why traders kindly take note of that. Okay. S&P 500, also the same thing. All right, but S&P 500 a little more subdued. Now S&P 500 now, you can see that the MA is supporting it, the MLP is supporting it, but of course the current price now is very, very near to the pivot 2. Now pivot 2 is 44.43. And now current price is 44.48. So which means that if the market break pivot 2, there will be selling. And the first target will be 44.29 because that's the MLP of the day. Okay, so kindly take note of this. This might be happening for today, right? If the market finds strength, then it will be going up towards the 45.05 mark. Okay, but at the moment now, it's looking at 44.43 to break first. Yeah. Now, Hang Seng, I already tell you today, Hang Seng is actually a sell. Why? Because Hang Seng opening price, you can see, is 21,962. That's the opening price today. Now, the day high is also the same price. The day high itself is the same price. So without a doubt, okay, without a doubt, right, the market is a sell at the start of the day. The beginning of the day, it was a sell, no holding back. And now you can see it went down to break the MA first and now touching the MLP. Because these 2 points are stacking down there, right? It's basically resealing it from going down. And that's the reason why you can see now the market is hanging around at pivot 2. Now pivot 2 is 21,354 and this particular level now is 351. So the market now is trading below pivot 2 already. But because the market has came down quite a fair bit right this morning, so people are getting a bit jittery, and of course some people are concerned because the KSI is green. Well, I say once again, green KSI doesn't mean the market must sell. Can be buy. You think is KSI means that the boys are actually involved. So now the thing is this: the market now is below MA30 and below MLP, the one or two big thingy. So if the market it breaks below P2, right, there will be selling. And how low would it be? Well, based on my own personal judgment, the first technical level that you will go on here. If you want some technical issue, okay, done. Somewhere near here, 21,136 for Hang Seng, yeah. But the level that I'm watching very closely is this guy here. So this is the one that I'm looking at really. So this one itself is 21,136, not too bad, pretty nearby. But the one that I'm looking at is this one whole big slab here itself, and that is roughly about 1,200 points. My God, 1,200 points. Now that's a lot of money if it actually comes true. Or maybe it happened within a few days, maybe 1 week, it doesn't matter. But be careful yourself. If the market loses 21,136, the market can come down all the way to 18,000, my God, 18,970. Okay, this is really crazy. Can be done? Well, let the market decide, but anything can be happen. Right, 1,200 points are going to make a lot of money if you actually got it correctly. Okay, all right, so that will be all the necessary point on Hang Seng. Now Nikkei is moving up. Now Nikkei found strength and KSI turned green. And again, remember when Nikkei was coming down, Nikkei was saying that, okay, let's give up, let's go down further and blah, blah, blah. But you can see that the market returned now. Everybody's back into their chirpy mode once again. Now, the thing is this, the market has just crossed pivot 2 on Friday. So by right, it can go higher. But we can do it in this very step here at the moment now. We're going to take it immediately. Now, there'll be a strong resistance somewhere here at 27.66. 27.466, sorry. That will be about 200 points and 250 points from where we are now. Towards this, that will be the technical level here. Okay, the technical level. Okay, for DAX, right, it's been sideways for a while, so we won't know what to do. I'll explain more details for DAX tomorrow later. Now, crude oil has turned yellow for it. Crude oil turned yellow for the color change potentially. Now, dear all, once again, I already informed you that if the crude oil goes higher, 106.51 will be the first resistance, 107.73 will be the next resistance. So which means that, right, if you really want to help, then make sure you follow with the market. Now you can see very clearly it's above MLP, it's above MA30 and above MA200. So everything is bullish on this counter right now. And it just broke pivot 1. Now pivot 1 is 105.66. That means above pivot 1, CCRY is a buy. CCRY is a buy. So let's take a look now, everybody. Okay, so you can see there, right? CCRY, it will be a buy. So initially the first one above, okay, sorry, this is today. So now you haven't seen any color change yet, but the market is firming around the pivot 1 already. So no pivot, no color change yet unless you go to a lower time frame, but at least you know that you are now supposed to be on the long side for crude oil already, long side. No news from the military side, apparently nothing at all, no news at all. So that's where it gets even scarier. Of course, there's some bombing here and there, but it's not nothing near to it. Okay. All right, so let's just look at gold prices. Now, gold price is recovering a little bit because of what's happening now, but all I can say is this. Let's check the dollar. Let's be checking the dollar now. Now you can see that the US dollar is still not moving much more on the downside, but overall today is up. So the thing is that the dollar is going up a little bit, but the gold price itself, right, is still holding there around there. So that means there's a little bit of fear in the market. Now, based on the MA30 is below, MLP is also above it itself, MA200. That means that now both MLP and MA is pressing down on gold. So if gold want to go up, right, it has to cross 1931 first, because that's the MLP. Then after that, it has to cross the MA30, which is 1939. Now they have to cross these two levels first, then the market can go back again. Then, okay, don't forget this, I told you, right, regarding this, all right. So make sure that you take note of it. And of course, hopefully when things are better, who knows, right, one day we may be doing this, okay? All right, so take note of that. Gold price itself, 1931 and 1939 will be the main resistance for today. Now, of course, if gold price came off 1912, then the next support level could drive it down all the way to 1869, Okay, all right, silver. Silver is also moving pretty sideways. Now, silver did try to go up within 3 days. It went pretty high, but after that, basically the buying fizzled out. And of course, now most of you are holding a position because you thought that you would go up too, right? So am I. So you can look at the KSI is red and the KRW is not really doing that well. So it means that, right? This KCX, sorry, my bad. This is the KCX showing that the market is pretty sideways at the moment. So unless the MLP is breached at $25.16 breach, if not, it will stay sideways for a while, okay, for silver. Okay, last two, that will be Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, there are some profit taking now on Bitcoin. Apparently, again, there's some people are saying that they must bring down the Bitcoin down so that they can actually stop Russia from getting up. So this is, again, all this grapevines. But the thing is this, as you can see, that now the MA 200 is on top of you, MLP is above, on top of you, and only one that is doing this is actually the China, this market now doing here at 40,781. Now the MA itself is 40,257. I suspect that the market will go for it. It will touch that. Okay, so using this concept here, let's just show you, right? Let's just try and see whether can we see something out of this. Okay, hold on, yeah. Okay, let's try. So you can see that prior to that, the market did try to go up to the extension 1x1, but it missed a little bit and failed. The second one, it did went up. Okay, so that means that the last time itself, right, the BNB is still working pretty fine. Yeah. So if the market really breaks down and go below this point here, the market can come down all the way to 37,863. Okay, all right. If it actually happened, the market can come down to this particular point. So, okay, all right. So that's Bitcoin. Last one will be Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is also coming off a little bit. Okay, so watch out for that. Okay, so I still think that the Ethereum will come back down to this point here. So now do note the Ethereum and the Bitcoin have been basically in a sideways market for quite a bit of time already. Yeah. All right, so this is actually waiting for something big to happen, but until now, there's nothing, no significant breakout or breakdown yet. So I believe that the market will just ding dong around this area just until the market finds a particular direction at the moment. Okay, at the moment now, nothing big. So downside will be here, 27, 25. I think that will be the target for this Ethereum in the long haul. Okay, all right, that will be all for today's MAO. All right, once again, thank you for listening to me. Tomorrow itself, right, whether would that be MAO for my student, I will update you. If you see me updating in an announcement group, then you will have. If I don't update, I will inform you guys if there won't be no MAO. All right, so this is a bit of tough time for me in the moment now. If you don't know, it's fine. If you know what's going on, just think about that. Okay, this is Cal signing off. Have a great day. Bye-bye.